Welcome to Grawlix Nights, the Grawlix Podcast live show. This is Randy.
This is Melanie.
And this is Jesse.
What's going on, everybody? Hi. We're kicking it off a little late tonight, but that's okay. That's why it's nights.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, viewer? What's up, listeners? Are you going to talk about Bruno? Paul asks. I don't know what that's in reference to.
We don't talk about Bruno. Not on the show.
We don't talk about that.
I don't understand.
It's an Encanto reference right there. I only know that because if I play that song in my classroom, it makes all the boys mad.
Oh, it's a song.
It's that level of, it's that level of aggravation. It's kind of like when you made the Frozen Let It Go joke, but now, like this is the new one.
Oh.
So we don't talk about Bruno.
Okay. I guess I'm not cool enough.
I have to know these things in order to survive.
Mm.
Yeah.
You shouldn't know these things, but I do. I have to know these things. So
do you keep like a cheat sheet of the current slang or whatever, so you know what's going on?
I'll never keep up on that, but like TikTok helps in that regard because I'll be like, what does that mean? And then I look it up on Urban Dictionary, which is sometimes helpful and mostly not helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like Wikipedia only. No one cares if it's true.
Right.
Well, that's great.
That's a cold open. That's what we call a cold open, folks. Right? Is that how that works? That's not a cold open. No,
So,
that's awful.
How are you two doing? That threw me all off my game.
This is good. Hey, Harlem Night. We got Paul and Harlem Night tonight.
I love that. They were about to listen to an episode on Spotify when they realized we were live.
Cool.
Yeah, we just went live too. So, we're just picking
Harlem
up.
Night was just featured on a podcast, the God Games and Geekery podcast. So
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
and Harlem Night is a big Twitch streamer with chess.
Oh,
So there you go.
I like the song.
Okay. So, hey, here's what's on the agenda today.
Mhm.
I don't know. No, we would be watching a couple things. It's going to be kind of a laid back episode, and we got a later start, so ideally we might want to wrap it up a little bit earlier or shorter, I guess. But today is Melanie's birthday,
Yep.
which is why we're getting a late
hey.
start.
Yep. I'm
And it was
old.
recently a Randy birthday too.
It was, yeah. Between last episode and this episode, it was my birthday. Today's her birthday.
Yep.
You just had a birthday recently, didn't you, Jesse?
No,
his
but it's
birthday's
coming
right
up
before our
because
anniversary.
we
Right.
always celebrate the birthday-versary of the Grawlix podcast.
You're right. Okay, I knew it was around this time. Everybody's clumped into this. Your broham, your younger broham, just had a birthday, I believe.
Yes, yeah. He had
So-
his is in January, so yeah.
Yeah, we're all grouped around here.
All the Aquariuses. We're awesome. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Paul, I thought of you earlier today. We were out and about, and I saw a Jessica Rabbit pin, and I was like, oh, we should get that for Paul. But we'd never give it to you, so.
Yeah,
They're doing a whole line of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit action figures through Super 7, and I thought about Paul because they were like doing the teaser. And it's got like the vat of whatever slime that they kill tunes in.
Mm-hmm.
dip.
The dip, yes.
Oh my God, it's dip. I don't know what that voice is. I'm not doing it again. So, well, okay. I know
Random.
one
That
thing.
was good.
There's one thing we have to talk about today. Oh, I'm not trying to rush past Melanie's birthday, by the way.
That's fine.
Okay, I didn't know if you want to just dwell on it or not.
No, I don't want to dwell on it.
One thing we have to talk about, but
Spider-Man No Way Home.
eventually.
Oh, okay. Someday we will talk about that show.
Speaking of spoilers, But maybe we'll hold off on some Book of Boba Fett for a little bit. Not that like that's got to be one of the things that it's got to be spoiled for everybody. No, it's so funny. He just asked.
Yeah.
We haven't. We will. Well, we talked about episode 5 last week, but episode 6, which is like, whoa, there's so much more.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about tonight. But we'll probably just run through quickly anything else we've been watching before we hit that, since it's kind of spoilery and the episode just came out, yesterday?
Yeah.
Wow, how long of a day was yesterday?
Right.
I guess I did. I watched it. I legit watched it like 5 a.m. Like I get up at 5, and so I'm like, I am not getting this spoiled. Like I know big things are happening because of the way that the last one set it up. I was like, if Mando's in this, there's going to be a lot of things that I don't want someone else to ruin. So I'm going to watch it now.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, we'll get to that very soon. But, well, I just made a list of them. What else did we watch? Okay, well, then I'll start with Melanie and I blew through a series since last
the whole
episode.
series.
We watched Faria, The Darkest Light. And I might be mispronouncing Faria, but it's spelled like it sounds, F-E-R. It spells like I'm making it sound, I should clarify.
Okay.
F-E-R-I-A. It's on Netflix. It's a 8-episode series. I liked it quite a bit.
Live action?
Yeah, live action series. Yeah. It's
Spanish?
Yeah, it's Spanish. It takes place in some place in Spain, I believe. And it's like a supernatural, well, it's definitely like a supernatural kind of mystery thriller thing.
I think it's because we watched Archive 81 or whatever.
Okay, there are some very strong themes related to Archive 81 in the storytelling. It kind of checked a lot of boxes for me because you've got like a rural European community rocked by some type of tragedy, which of course is always accompanied by a moody detective. Check. And you've got some supernatural elements. In that respect, it reminded me a little bit of like Black Spot, which was another great series you can see on Netflix. Hopefully they do another season of that someday. And I feel it's not a spoiler to say because they kind of get to it right away and it's right in the trailer. A whole bunch of like cult stuff, cultists, and maybe some supernatural elements. But yeah, Melanie, what did you think of it?
I liked it. I thought it was really good.
We watched it totally on I don't know. It was just one of those fire up Netflix and it showed a picture of, whatever the picture must have appealed to me or caught my interest. And I was like, okay, I'll watch a trailer and okay, we'll give this a shot. And it was good.
There were some characters that I was very annoyed at their decisions.
Yes.
Over and over. But other than that, it was good.
I feel like it's fairly well written, but the characters aren't necessarily well written.
No.
Like it does really well at balancing. Like there's a lot of characters, a good amount of characters in it. And there's a lot of characters that I'm like, well, they're just going to be like a side nothing character and disappear, that actually eventually play kind of a major role, at least for a portion of the plot. So I was impressed with that, how it juggled its characters. The character decisions, however, is where I'm like, come on. That is the weak point. I don't think it's enough to, at least for me, it wasn't enough to kill the show. And it's really well produced. It looks great. But that's a valid criticism, Melanie.
And it's just, I like the way the story unfolds, where, you're not sure what's real and what's not for a while. And there keeps adding layers and layers on it. Like you think these people are bad people, then they end up being good people, but then they end up being maybe kind of bad people, and then everybody just kind of sucks,
I was a little concerned because I can't find a good picture of it, unfortunately. Hold on, share screen. Here is the only backdrop I can find on the moviedatabase.org. And so at first I was like, is this going to be is this just a foreign language CW type thing, and it's not.
It
I
does
mean,
look like that.
These two teen girls are like the central characters, but it's got edge. It's not like CW'd.
It
If
had
the-
another one with body horror, man.
Yes, like it's pairs nicely or trip. What's a pair when there's three? It goes
Trio?
along nicely with Archive 81 and Brand New Cherry Flavor, which we happen to just watch. So
Mhm. I think they're watching us and then showing us movies based on that.
right,
Can I flip real quick to the comments?
yeah.
Paul said he watched the trailer for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we did also.
Oh, that's right. 50 years.
I was just say, evil's not gonna die.
I
Come
was
on.
like, okay, yeah, we are jumping hard suddenly to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre trailer that for the new movie for Netflix. I was like, okay. And then they throw a lady who's not the original lady, but she's supposed to be the original girl from the first one's back. And she's gonna 50 years. Evil dies tonight.
It's the same actress and everything.
No, it's not the same
Oh, it's
actress.
not. Oh, okay.
Uh-uh.
It's a
But,
recast. Oh,
I was like, why? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre doesn't need that.
And also, in my opinion, that the woman at the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre was traumatized. She was not about to turn around and go back to fight evil. She was going to
Right.
stay as far away from it as she could.
She was broken.
Right.
Well, they did exactly and that's my criticism, but it kind of works for Halloween because I don't know why. Halloween's been doing that kind of thing for years, off and on, but it's a very similar thing to Halloween. It's a direct sequel to the first one. The name is just basically the title of the first one. It's ignoring all the sequels, although I get it with Texas Chainsaw Massacre because every sequel ignores all of the other sequels.
right.
You just kind of have to. when you go where that series goes in part 2, no sequel is gonna be like, yeah, let's follow part 2.
Part 2 is so weird.
Oh, Paul says cell phone dude on the bus was his favorite guy so far. That's such a weird tone for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I guess it's not that's not out of place if you did decide to follow part 2. But like do the where it's a bunch of people on a bus and Leatherface is in there with a chainsaw. He's like, "You're going to get canceled, bro," or whatever. Do anything and you'll get canceled. And then he of course chainsaws people, right? But I don't know. Weird. Not really what I was expecting. I was a little surprised by it. To be honest, that trailer I watched a little bit ago, although this is kind of a cheat because it takes place in the 70s and the new Texas Chainsaw is modern, but that trailer for the upcoming movie X, it's just titled X, directed by Ty West, that looks like a better follow-up to Texas Chainsaw Massacre than this movie does.
I think that's what I thought it was when it first started.
Right, because it's got that 70s aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just as soon as the lady was on there and she's like, oh, she's got a gun and she's gonna. I was like, oh no, she's not Laurie Strode. What are you doing? And they said 50 years. I was like, no.
They said 50 years. Oh.
50 years. Leather dies tonight.
Leather dies tonight. It's PETA. PETA's the killer.
Right. Maybe it's good though. I mean, I'll watch it. I'm curious. I'm so curious. I kind of had somewhat high hopes, but I haven't really been thrilled with like any of the Texas Chainsaw Massacres after. I liked the second one. After that, the reboots, I didn't really care for a lot of them that much. Yeah. Harlem Knight says sometimes it's okay to leave things alone. Agreed.
Yep. Jesse, have you watched anything?
Yes, thank you.
I was gonna say, yeah, good segue. So I don't even remember.
Was it?
I don't even remember. No, I don't know that anything segues well to what I'm about to talk about.
Oh,
We must have talked about this during our Monster of the Week or whatever, and I was just like, oh, okay. Benny loves you.
Yes. I was so
Right.
happy for you to see that.
right.
It's so weird. It's like Shaun of the Dead, but so much gorier.
Mm-hmm.
and if Shaun of the Dead featured an Tickle Me Elmo that kills
Right?
people, but also kind of wants to be your friend, and that's the whole point. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like if they had just gone with the premise that they kind of set up in like the cold open for this movie, it would have been a very short movie because this guy is lucky to be alive.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like literally lucky to be alive because he has no skills for being alive. It's like if Shaun of the Dead was also the 40-year-old virgin who threw away his toy that came back to life to kill anyone that might form an attachment to him
Mhm.
in any way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
Because Benny loves you, so if anyone
no one
else
else
loves you,
can.
they die.
Yeah, it's great.
It's got such a it's got such a Shaun of the Dead style vibe to it. So it's funny, but it's
Mhm.
also like it's like funny, and then they'll be like have a bunch of fingers come out of a toaster, and I'm like, what? Those look like real fingers. They're so gross.
It is
Benny
tonally
so
very
creepy.
strange.
Yeah. Like I was hard to wrap my head around. Like I did enjoy it, sort of. But like there were times where I'm legit like turning away from the screen because I
Mhm.
just don't expect that level of gore from Elmo.
Yeah. And it does stuff that like you're like, oh, that's kind of funny, but then eventually you're like, oh, that's just sad. Like the
Yeah.
attic lady, you know.
Oh my god, yeah. Elmo. Yes. Yes. Well
That's
played.
pretty good. I like that.
He only repeats the handful of computer program sounds and words, and so like I did appreciate that. Like he
Yeah.
just that's all he does is
That
the
they stick
same
to
like
that.
4. Yeah,
He never says anything else. They stuck to that. Yeah.
yeah. It was so weird. It reminded me of a couple of other things, and I just can't remember what they are because they're not like true 1-to-1s.
Yeah.
There was another one that made me really think of this because it's like you're the friend with the killer kind of thing. Idle Hands almost. It reminded me
Right.
almost of Idle Hands in the way that like when the hand gets possessed, this kid actually like gets out of his basement and does some things. You know, like Helmo helps kind of put this guy's life on track at the same time ruining it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right. He helps him, but at the same time sets him up for life in prison. Like he doesn't
Oh,
do
yeah.
anything to not let it get tracked to this guy.
You didn't watch it with Holly, right? Because man, the
No.
dog bit. Oh, good lord.
No.
Okay.
No.
The dog bit
She
for
wouldn't
me
have-
though
Yeah.
worked because as soon as it went like you could like a gory dog thing, it was so clearly just a stuffed
yeah.
animal they ripped up.
Right.
But it's the thought, right? Like
Right.
it's-
Yeah. No.
in concept, it's pretty horrible.
Oh, there's a scene. That she would have hated, even though it's clearly like a fake thing at this point.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a modified plushie or something. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't like this guy. You want to talk about bad decision making? Like this guy is just like it's like what? I know you were in the moment and you weren't thinking, but like, what universe would that have been a good decision? Like, how is that going to save the situation?
It
I'm gonna
goes
use it like hit this corpse of an animal thing.
it goes, if I recall correctly, it goes so hard into the horror, the gore, and violence that it's like, okay, serious horror territory, but at the same time exists in a totally like unbelievably over the top cartoony world in a way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
I'm glad you watched it too.
I sent you a picture of the rating screen because I was like, I have no idea how many stars to give this movie. I think I gave it 3.5 because I enjoyed it, but I'm not sure why. And I don't know how often I'll rewatch it.
Mhm.
I'll probably rewatch it,
It's
but
funny
not
in,
soon.
it's funny in concept, but it's almost a little too dry.
But it's worth it to watch it run. Like when the scenes where it shows it actually like walking down the hallway.
Yeah.
They're the best.
It's like somebody's got like it's like it's bobbing along with like I don't know, fishing line or something. Like
Yeah.
somebody's just like doing the really bad puppet job, you know. Like
Mhm.
this is like whenever you'd see Kermit the Frog walk, you'd have this little uncanny valley thing where it's like, well, that doesn't look realistic, but this doesn't look realistic at all.
It's
Like he's
interesting because
floating.
there are definitely times when it's CG, and the CG, this was a low budget thing, and the CG's pretty good, but in terms of like, yeah, making it look like it's walking, there's no attempt to not make it look like a puppet just bouncing. Like
Mhm.
it's intentionally kind of cheesy looking, but at the same time, they made effort so that it looks nice, even though looks cheesy.
Mhm.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I liked it. I'm glad that everybody's seen it, or all the three of us.
Yeah,
have.
I wouldn't recommend it to anybody that has strong feelings about gore, because that
Right.
was the thing that was like I don't know. I think just because of how dramatically the tones contrast, where I was just like, wow, never ready for the gore.
Right.
Even the fake gore, you know, like even the spaghetti gore. I was like, what is happening?
They did have some spaghetti in there, didn't they? Like spilled
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, like Benny's first victim, spoilers, are the other toys.
Mhm.
And he's just like graphically setting it up like a disemboweled stuffy or plushie, you know. It's just like, wow, Benny's sending a message. that message is horrible.
Yeah.
I do want to jump back real quick. Paul had said that this is kind of off topic, but we had mentioned Brand New Cherry Flavor. He will be interviewing Pierre from Brand New Cherry Flavor. I was trying to see who that was. Tomorrow on his for his show, for his podcast.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool. I can't think of any questions off the top of my head, but if I think of any, I'll shoot some over.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of unexpected violence mixed with weird comedy, have you checked out Peacemaker yet? More
haven't
Peacemaker
yet.
yet, or at all?
Nope.
Okay, we watched the newest episode today, so we're keeping current on it because I kind of love it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
hmm
It's not my. It's a good match with Doom Patrol, I think, tonally. I still like Doom Patrol a little bit more, but Peacemaker's different. Peacemaker feels like it does drama, but not as much as Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Man, it's good. And today, the episode we watched today, I don't know, episode 7, 6, 8, I have no idea. There's times when I was like, John Cena. Oh, hey, Matty D, what's going on? He says the best
Hey.
John Cena character, in my opinion. That's good timing. Because I was going to say, I even told Melanie as we were watching it, I was like, John Cena, if I didn't know he was a wrestler, if he didn't necessarily look like a wrestler, because he looks like a wrestler, he's just a guy in this show, I'd be like, yeah, that guy's a pretty good actor. Like, I'm constant, and maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe it's insulting of me to be that way, but it's like, yeah, John Cena's good. He's got range.
hmm But if we didn't know he was a wrestler, would we think that? I don't necessarily.
I don't know if I'd think about it. Maybe, yeah.
Right.
See, that's
Right.
where it's kind of insulting of me to even say. I don't know if it would register.
Right.
Paul says Peacemaker is good. Good John Cena goofy comedy. Well, exactly, it is. But there's times when he gets like serious and emotional, especially kind of as they're doing a character arc thing a little bit.
hmm
So he does get serious sometimes, and he's pretty good at it.
Well, and James Gunn just clearly knows how to direct wrestlers.
Right,
I think
right.
that matters, He
his
knew
people.
how to handle Batista perfectly. He clearly knows how to handle Cena.
I'm not trash talking wrestler actors because I mean
I am.
But I
Roddy
mean, like,
Piper
James Gunn's clearly got some kind of secret sauce because he's done it successfully twice in a row.
Listen, Roddy Piper was all right, man. They lived
Oh, yeah.
classic. The Rock is super charisma.
Super charisma. Yeah, he is.
That's it. He's super. I don't know if he's a good actor. But he's so charismatic. That's all he needs.
Yep.
I heard him and Vin Diesel don't.
Yeah, I keep hearing about. That's not normally the kind of thing we cover on Grawlix, so I don't pay too much attention to it. It's a little bit more gossipy, but yeah, I keep hearing about this beef between Vin Diesel and The Rock, and it sounds kind of like Vin Diesel keeps blaring it
John
up.
Cena has even tried to like mediate because he was in one.
What?
Because he was in one. He was in the space one, I guess. So, I don't know.
Okay, that's all I have to say about Peacemaker. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
You've said your piece, Maker.
Right. It's gory though. It's hardcore. If you're if you're sensitive to violence, again, just don't watch anything we talk about most of the time.
But is it shocking? Like, is Elmo gonna do it?
Not this episode, but the last episode, I found there was some pretty shocking violence because you don't expect it, and they don't set it up. It makes sense after the fact, but like, Melanie, do you know what I'm talking about with the X-ray goggles or whatever helmet?
Mm-hmm.
And basically, people just start getting blown away, and you don't expect it. Just chunks.
Yeah.
And
so like
they justify it after the fact.
Suicide Squad.
What's that?
Like the opener to the Suicide Squad, or
no,
less expected than that.
There's a shotgun. There's a shotgun. Somebody goes to town. You're like, you don't see it coming, and and you're like, wait, what? And but there's a story justification later, but it is some surprising gory violence out of nowhere.
Well, because initially you think from what you understand, they're doing reconnaissance. They're going to sneak and see what's going on, not going into with guns blazing. That's why you really don't expect it. But all of a sudden,
to what looks like otherwise totally normal people, and that's part of it too.
Yeah,
like old lady. It starts with an old lady, and you're like, what? So,
yep.
But it's good, man. It's good. A gorilla. There's a gorilla and a chainsaw fight. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Anything else for Jesse?
I don't know if I mentioned like Dan Brown. Did I mention that I was watching The Lost Symbol on Peacock?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so like I've been watching The Lost Symbol on Peacock. And so like if for people who don't remember Dan Brown at all, he got really popular for the Da Vinci Code. Like that book hit, and then everybody started like reading all of his stuff, and he made a few more books after that, and The Lost Symbol is one of them. And it's a recasting. Obviously, it's not Tom Hanks in the role of Langdon, but it's I don't know. Thinking back, have you guys seen Da Vinci Code?
Yeah.
No.
No? Okay.
Wait. Maybe not. Maybe I saw National Treasure.
You probably saw National Treasure.
Same thing. Basically, it's like, it's like Crichton would do this kind of thing where it's like he would take a thing that was like plausible and make it kind of pretty interesting, like Jurassic Park, or like the way that they do time travel in the timeline. Well, Dan Brown does that with like symbology and whatnot. And so it's like stuff like the Illuminati is like, okay, we'll dive into this and make it sound kind of plausible, right? But then we'll also tie it with some spooky stuff to make it more interesting. And this is like that dialed up to 11. It was like, let's do a bunch of symbol stuff, the lost symbol, let's tie it to the Freemasons. And then we'll have them have the secret that's kind of supernatural. And it's just like, I don't know, like we're still watching it, but at this point, I'm kind of hate watching it because I'm
Okay.
like, this is kind of hot garbage. This is always where the Dan Brown stuff was eventually going to go if he didn't just take it and go a different direction. I was like, okay, now it's just like it's almost sci-fi at this point. So
Is it reptilians?
I mean, we got a guy that's like tattooed head to toe, like he looks like a lizard person almost, like. So no, but yeah, kind of. It's got like a vibe, and it's and the Freemasons are clearly a stand-in for the Illuminati, which was a stand-in for the Catholic Church in another one, and it's just bonkers. It's just it's like, oh, this is interesting. That makes zero sense.
Right.
I don't know what any of that is.
Book endings for the Dan Brown is so anticlimactic. So kind of like Stephen King then, huh?
Oh yeah.
That's what I always hear.
See, I haven't gotten to the end of the season yet, but and I like one of the things I do like about it is Eddie Izzard is in it, and I always love me some Eddie Izzard.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen him in anything for a long time.
But yeah, this is just so, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I read.
It's all right.
I read I don't know if I watched the movie, but I did read. You just said it. The first movie,
Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, I read that one, and then the sequel, the second book to that. And I mean, yeah, it's weird, but I kind of like conspiracy stuff is fun.
I read Angels and Demons, and Angels and Demons felt very much like a National Treasure kind of thing. And it was fun because it was referencing like artists and stuff that I knew because it's set in Rome or Italy or whatever. Oh, the Vatican specifically, the Vatican. And yeah, that one was fine. But like they seem to get like gradually more bonkers.
Right. Right.
And this one is just like playing with like sensory deprivation floats, causing like visions and like this, I don't know, all sorts of weird stuff.
Yeah.
We watch him like just go into like a trance and then force a bullet out of his own skin kind of thing. Like he's got a bullet hole in his back and then you see something like writhing around and it just goes out the hole. And I'm like, what?
If he wanted to be more popular, he should go get his conspiracies from like 4chan or something.
Right. Let's.
Yeah.
Oh man, Dan Brown does the QAnon book next.
Right.
That'd be great. Let's do it. Oncoming storm. Storms. That's the tagline. Storms are storms coming.
So Book of Boba. I don't know how to get on that. I don't know anything about what you're talking
There's
about.
the segue. Yeah, from books to the book of Boba Fett.
Are we gonna jump right into? Okay, so episode 6 is the Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
Oh, that happens. Paul says, just once I want a book or movie to just end. Mid-sentence, just over. No wrap, no cliffhanger, just over. That's how The Sopranos ended, I think. And I've seen movies like that. The segues have been lit tonight. Yeah, I know.
On fire. They're on fire and people are screaming. Just like Benny Loves You.
I got a mystery for you. How do we segue into the Book of Boba Fett? How about that?
That sounded creepy.
Which is the goal of every segue, just to sound creepy.
We're all just fed up.
So
Yes.
Are we just okay? I don't know how to talk about this episode. Are we just gonna jump into spoilers?
We kind of have to. Like it opens with a spoiler. Like the very first character we see is kind of like, oh, wasn't expecting that. Spoiler.
Hold on, I'm typing. I know it's annoying, but hold on. This was episode 6.
Yes. Looking for
Let's
a
just see. What's
synopsis
it look
or
like? Is this on here? There we go. There's
oh,
something.
hey, look at
We're
that.
like the news.
Man. I would say we're professionals, but professionals wouldn't get
Ooh.
this excited about it.
No, they would not acknowledge it at all. Here,
especially
let's
since our audio listeners can't see it at all. But
add
there's
a little bit of this.
yeah.
Now
little-
we're professionals.
the
Yeah.
badge of cheapness and the scroll that says that we're gonna spoil this thing.
We're just gonna go full like amateur hour and just like, we're gonna have so many scrolling texts and blinking graphics. Let's put some gifs
Oh
on there.
yes, please.
Let's go old 90s internet, have dancing baby gif on there.
Oof. And do like a triangle transition fade for no reason. Like just a triangle overlay that just like covers part of me, but you can still see me behind it. 'Cause triangles.
Yes. Like your 1992 HTML resume. Exactly.
Yeah.
Star wipe.
Okay. I wasn't ready for that.
The transition reminded me of Star wipe.
Yeah.
So Book of Boba Fett. Let's just talk about it. We're doing it. Paul says that sounds like nerd sounds. I don't know what you're talking about. Nerd sounds.
That's me.
Oh yeah, it does.
That's
That
me
is.
on TikTok. That's my name.
Oh man.
So,
There it is.
Okay. Book. How about that stock market ticker too?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. This is fascinating. This is gonna be great for the audio listeners.
It's all the sight gags they can't see.
Okay, so let's just talk about it. It was, and I'm not talking about the story. The story was fine. I do like that we got another episode of The Mandalorian in the middle of this season.
mhm.
It was
Basically,
great.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it. Who's Boba Fett?
We got to see him in this one.
We did. We got to see him. They're
We got
they're
to
making
see him.
plans. They're over there making moves.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you guys are helping me in case everybody forgot who the show is about.
We got what I think is maybe the first cool looking ominous alien in a Star Wars property ever. I'm not a big fan of the general design of Star Wars aliens. The creatures are generally fine. Like, the weird Sarlacc pit.
So I
and
assume you're
weird
going
creatures.
for the final reveal or the final villain reveal, the new character,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that
So
character
Cat-
looks super cool.
Cad Bane, and I don't know why I didn't expect it because he's so perfect for this setting.
What is he?
Because he looks like a Sergio.
Oh yeah,
totally gonna-
Leon.
he look-
Leon.
Yeah, he looks like that kind of a character. He looks like a Clint Eastwood style bounty hunter. I mean, yeah.
What's he
So yeah,
from?
the good, the bad, and the boba. That's dead on.
What
That
was
was
he
dead
in?
on.
Yeah, that's why I kept doing like.
He was in Clone Wars.
Oh, okay.
So he was a cartoon before this,
Okay.
but he
okay, that
looks
makes sense.
great, just like Rosario Dawson's Jedi
Yeah.
character.
I bet Gabe's going nuts. He loves that's how he got into Star Wars, and now he's like telling. Oh man, he's like,
Is that
that's not
Ahsoka?
a real whatever spacer racer crap, because blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't care, Gabe. I don't
He had
care.
his hat down the whole time, and it's just like, ooh, it's gonna be him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't I? Here's the thing. Why did they waste all this time on the new trilogy of movies when they could just be making old
don't
movies
know.
again?
I don't know.
They could be making the original Star Wars saga, and just if they're gonna stick with the everything's got to be somewhat tangentially connected to the Skywalker bloodline and all that, like they ended up doing in the new trilogy of movies. Just do what that
Right.
episode did.
Well, even the stuff that they allude to, essentially, the Last Jedi. Well, I guess it happened earlier on. Like R2D2 just shorts out suddenly. And it's like, oh man, he started doing that a long time ago, like right after Return of the Jedi, apparently.
Oh, so male or saber? Yes, I enjoyed that. It frustrated me a little bit. We're talking about Baby Yoda. I'm gonna continue. That's his name.
That's his name.
Yeah.
or Gogurt.
Gogurt, yeah.
That frustrated me because I'm like, come on, he can have both. Give him both. But it is like classic. It reminds me specifically of Lone Wolf and Cub, where, uh, where, or Samurai Showdown, or Samurai, not Samurai Showdown, Samurai. What's it called? It was cut together and re-released in the U.S. as Samurai something. I don't remember, but where he's got the kid and he's like, sword or the ball. If you choose the ball, whatever, death. I'll kill you, and then whatever. Choose sword. You're gonna have a hard life, but we'll do that. So this is a little bit different, but it reminded me of that. I'm sure that wasn't accidental. It's a very like samurai thing to do.
Hmm.
But I liked it in theory. I was a little frustrated. I was just like, he could do both. It's fine.
I was upset that they didn't show us from the second it was made that adorable little tiny male outfit. That was so cute.
The little
They had
chainmail.
to save
Yes.
the reveal just in case.
Oh, it was dope. It was great.
We're talk about burying the lead though. Wow, that was a segue. So let's talk about Luke Skywalker.
Hmm.
Because, sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, go ahead. I was probably gonna say what you were about to say.
It blew my mind. It was so good. It was so
good.
much better than the last season. Like whoever the guy from YouTube that Lucasfilm and Disney, whoever, they hired some YouTuber after that, because after that, then a bunch of YouTubers like, well, can we do a better deep fake than Disney? And one of those people they ended up hiring, and I think that was a good hire because it looked so good.
Hmm. The only time it was a little weird was sometimes when he was talking, if he wasn't in a certain kind of light, he looked weird. But
Corridor Crew did do a video like that, and when I first heard the news, I was like, "Oh, was it some of the Corridor Crew guys?" But it wasn't. It was they hired somebody, another guy. I don't know his name offhand. It wasn't a channel I was familiar with.
are we sure about that? Because Peter disappeared.
Peter did disappear, but I don't think it was Peter. It was somebody else.
Yeah.
Corridor though. They're like they put that stuff out there like, come on, Disney, come on,
Yeah.
we're for hire. We talked to all your stuntmen.
Mhm.
So yeah, anyway, what do you guys think of that?
Sorry, too.
I know
It
you
was
did.
It was great.
Right.
Just the Luke thing, or just
Yeah.
like the whole episode. It was the best part of my day. I mean, I don't know if that's great or not, but like waking up early, watching this first thing in the morning, I was just like, this episode somehow topped The Mandalorian working on a speeder.
Yeah.
Paul makes it super interesting. I like it. It shows why Luke fails Ben. He doesn't understand you can have personal things and still be a Jedi. Makes sense.
Right.
Come on, Disney. Grawlix is for hire for Disney Plus podcast.
You know
Listen.
what? I would do it. As much trash as I talk about Disney once in a while, I would do that in a heartbeat.
I would feel some serious internal conflict about it, but I'm not going to turn away some Disney money.
I don't think I would be able
way.
to, honestly. I don't think I can rein myself in enough for Disney. I could try, but I'd probably fail, and then we'd all lose our jobs. So.
Oh no, yeah, I'm going to get fired. I'm going to get fired. If suddenly like Disney became my employer, I'd be much more like, so what about all these dirty dealings and monopoly deals and sweatshops? You got sweatshops overseas? I know you do.
No, you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting fired, guys.
I'll be like, Jesse has no part of what I'm
This
about to
could
say.
be the Baby Yoda podcast, the real one,
No,
the
they'd make us
official
call it
Baby Yoda podcast.
the child or something, and I'd be like,
The child.
sure.
I want to see the.
And they'll be like,
I want
no,
to
you
see the baby.
sign this contract. I'll be like, oh, but Baby Yoda.
Yeah, let's call it Grover, I suppose.
Maddie D says, man, can you imagine Disney money instead of cat dancer monies? Cat dancer money is kind of like Savannah is a cat dancer because she donates every month to our Patreon at patreon.com/Grawlix podcast. If you're at the cat dancer tier, you get a shout out like Savannah just did.
Mm-hmm. Even when she's not here.
Or it doesn't have to be that much. You can be $1 a month.
Yep.
So, oh God, I still want to. So the episode was good, but it's the technology. I'm that person. It's the technology. Like, yes, there were a few times with the lighting that's a little weird, but like it's so much better than it was in that last season of Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
There was so much more of him than I expected.
Right.
And like they didn't shot. I mean, they were smart about the angles they shot from and stuff, but like he's up in a tree, he's running, doing backflips with baby Yoda on his back. I was expecting him to swing on a hairy vine.
If you don't watch Bad Lip Reading, you have to go watch Bad Lip Reading with Yoda.
Yeah.
And it makes this episode so much better.
Yes. And they didn't
back when you jump.
There were times when he did like a full like from behind to front turn, and I was like, whoa, that's real risky. And I know it's not just deep fake. Like I'm sure there's a bunch of CGI in there and stuff like that. Honestly, hey, thanks for tuning in, Harlem Night.
Yeah, have a good night.
Honestly, the weirdest aspect to it for me was the voice.
Yeah.
But in a way, it was also perfect because, and you could say it's the character, because the way the character carries himself and speaks, but Mark Hamill's not really the best in those movies, right? Like
Right.
Mark Hamill's awesome, but like his look sometimes, his delivery, and I felt like whatever they did for this, and I don't know that the information's out there yet, but like whatever they did, some people think there's a little voice synthesis. I think there is maybe some voice acting from other people, and then some like weird stuff based on, because Mark Hamill got a credit. I'm sure he was a part of this.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, his body language seemed much more Mark Hamill to me, but like old Mark Hamill at times, like when he'd turn, he just seemed a little stiffer.
Mm-hmm.
But his vocal delivery was a little stiff, but it was stiff in the way that like Luke Skywalker was, especially in that time period of those movies when he's like,
he was so uptight. He's a new
Yes.
Jedi, and he
Yes.
needs everybody to remember. No, I am. I'm a Jedi.
Mhm.
I'm super serene, monk-like even.
And Mark Hamill hadn't hit his voice acting craziness yet, where he could just let loose and be wild. And I think that's more the Mark Hamill that we know than the kid that was, just starting to be known.
yeah,
And was more cautious.
oh yeah, no, I think he excels when he can be over the top with his voice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if like low key is what he does, but Matt asks, did they modulate his voice because current Mark Hamill sounds more gravelly than young Mark Hamill? Yeah, that definitely wasn't current Mark Hamill voice,
Mm-hmm.
but they might have, like, I don't know if his voice is in there. I could see them maybe trying some stuff. But I think there's definitely some synthesized stuff in there. Like, I mean, they can do the machine learning voices pretty good now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think that might be part of what they did, because the delivery was stiff, but at times like the inflection sounded wrong. And
Mhm.
maybe that's a result of that.
Mhm.
I'd be very curious.
They're gonna come out with the behind the scenes, like when they're done with Boba Fett a bit.
I'm
And we'll
sure.
find out all about
They
it.
have to, yeah.
I was happy to see Cowboy Sheriff back.
I was just going to ask you guys if you were pumped to see him, because that was a surprise right off the bat. They
Mhm.
opened with the Marshal, with Cobb.
Yeah.
Timothy Oliphant or whatever.
The Marshal.
Yeah.
Even
Marshal.
when he's in space, he's a Marshal.
Right?
Even when he's in space, he's an old Western Marshal.
Yep.
Modern
He's so
day,
good.
old
So
Western
good in
Marshal.
that role. Love him.
He is. Do you think he like you think he enjoys that, or do you think he's like, "Ah, yeah, I'll be a marshal again, or whatever?
Yeah.
He seems to be enjoying it, but maybe he's just that good, you know.
Mhm.
So do you think that Cad Bane just killed a man? Since we're just spoiling this thing,
I think he killed a man, but I don't know if he killed the marshal.
Yeah.
because
His little
the
sidekick
marshal
buddy
took
guy.
one shot, right?
He took one shot, and it was definitely like, yeah, it could have been here, or it was a side, definitely a side, and he went to the side. The deputy got lots of shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
He
the
deserved it.
deputy's dead.
He was the reason all that went down anyway. I mean, not
Yeah.
the overall reason, but if he would have just gone inside like he had said, then he wouldn't have been trying to stop him and looked away and whatnot.
I think Timothy Oliphant. I think once he got cast as some type of lawman, and
Mhm.
I think Deadwood cemented it.
Yeah.
That was it. I'm sure he's done other roles, but man, he is some type of lawman in so many of the things he's done.
hmm
Yes. Thank you. That popped in my head too, that song, Matt. He said, I think he killed the deputy, but not the sheriff or the marshal.
hmm I knew something bad was going to happen to him, though. As soon as he kicked over that little box of spice, I was like, uh-oh,
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah.
something bad's going to happen to him.
That makes sense.
I like him. Yeah, I don't think he's done his character.
I don't know why. Okay, I get that they like that town's people probably more the sheriff than the rest of them, but whatever. He likes them. He thinks they'll be good fighters. But what about the what do you call them? They're his friends. They waved at him when he flew by. You know, yeah, have them know.
Jawas.
Yeah.
I love that they had the like skull on the top of it. So I'm trying to remember. I thought it was the Tuscan. So the Tuscans got all that, right? Did they trade it to the Jawas? Or
Probably.
maybe I'm missing. I may need to go back and rewatch that, but it's like
Mhm.
they got this giant dragon skull on the top of their tank. I'm sure that has a name.
I noticed, and maybe this is not what it was, but in the bar in the town, like there's the huge like rib cage thing is inside the like bar. The bar's like structured around it now. And I don't know if that was the case or if
Oh,
that's supposed to be from that thing as well.
Probably.
Paul says, I'm not following Jawas into war.
What? You don't have to follow them. They'll come out from like hiding and get at everybody's ankles and stuff.
Paul says this will be what gets Freetown into the fight.
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
for sure. And it's kind of cliche, but like I said it about Mandalorian, and we're still talking about Mandalorian. But I said it about Mandalorian. They do a lot of cliche, been there, done that storylines, but that's the point. It's kind of pulpy, it's a pulp western, stuff like that. Which is what Star Wars stuff is anyway. Pulp western, samurai, that kind of stuff. But I didn't expect it to be instantaneous, because what's his name is in his jet flying overhead, flying away, and oh, here's the big bad comes walking up like instantly. I was like,
Yeah, I was like,
you could have put a little time in between then and now.
I
right,
remember
right,
when
yeah.
we were watching it. I'm like, is he even out of town yet? What is going on? Like,
It's like,
it's not our problem. Okay, well now it is.
Marshall just wave, be like, oh, it's coming. The trouble's here.
Right, right. Yeah, he could have calmed. He could have been like, copy? He's still there?
Yeah, it was instantaneous, and I thought that was a little cheesy, a little hokey, a bit much, but whatever.
So like the main thing with this one, and a lot of people have already said it though, is like they took all the toys out to play with them in this episode, because there were so many characters like I wasn't expecting to see at all. So like we haven't even really touched on Ahsoka Tano. So I alluded to the fact that Rosario Dawson's in this episode. And it's like she didn't need to be there, but it was kind of cool that she was, and it gave Mando someone to talk to that was a real person instead of a robot face on a
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, on a stunt man.
Yeah.
or whatever they would credit them as.
Yeah, because he, it was, man, you think about that. Like Grogu's talking to a person that's not a person, like
Right, you're right.
that whole thing. All those interchanges were, yeah. Well, Rosario Dawson talked to the person that's not a person, too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't expect to see her. I kind of expected to see Luke just a smidge. I was like, okay, if we see Grogu, then we're gonna see Luke. But I didn't expect Ahsoka Tano, and I didn't expect the Marshal, and I definitely didn't expect new characters like Cad Bane.
Mm-hmm.
She's got those weird head things, and I hate those head things. I hate all the creatures. If I was a Star, you know what? I'm not even going to finish that sentence. It could be easily taken out of context.
Did you guys think the bar was gonna explode?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when they walked in, I'm like, why are they just walking in with gum?
She did even call it right out. Why are they walking in with a bomb before they even
like
sat down?
Don't they have metal detectors or something? I mean,
Everybody's
this is the
metal.
future. Well, I guess, but
Is the Max Rebo band dead? Are they dead? Is the Blue Elephant dead?
Oh my God.
How is no one asking this question?
I haven't even thought about that, but that's shocking.
Did they all die?
You know what?
It was a bomb.
Canceled. That's character assassination. Literally.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll just like
Those are original characters.
they'll freeze them all, and Boba will give him like a turn in his little fix them up machine, and then it'll all be good, right?
Maddie D says, "Oh, well, earlier he said, hey, I was just happy to see the best Star Wars alien, Max Rebo." And then he said, no, Max
did.
Rebo can survive anything.
Better hope.
Ooh, sorry.
Okay, so
I'm excited for the war.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
In the stars?
I think it's just going to be on Tatooine, though.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But yeah, and I want them to. They're not going to, but I want them to ride a sand monster, a sandworm. I want it to be Dune. I want them to ride a sandworm in and like eat other bad guys.
Well, you know what? All this time away from Boba Fett is probably time in which he could have learned how to ride his Rancor.
I was just going to say, that's why we're not seeing Boba Fett. Because, actually, I do want to see that. I do want to see the trial and error of trying to learn how to ride a dinosaur. A Rancor beast. That's going to be epic. We're going to have Boba Fett on a flippin' dinosaur while Danny Trejo cheers and weeps. That is going to be a thing we'll see, I think.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I think anytime a show wants to do that, normally it'd be a montage.
Right.
From now on, that show just derails into The Mandalorian for 2 episodes. Doesn't matter what show. And then when it comes back, our characters have learned what they need to learn.
It's a bait and switch. It's a bait and switch. We don't need the montage. We just be like, this whole time I've been riding a Rancor, and I am the Rancor Whisperer.
Yeah.
I was watching. I'm trying to think of something absurd. Peacemaker. Apparently, they needed to learn something because suddenly Mandalorian was there for 2 episodes, and we watched him build a classic hot rod. And then then the next episode, Peacemaker knew how to do this thing. So
yeah, he taught an eagle to carry him.
And that eagle was savage, wasn't he? But anyway, sorry, we're not on that show.
Oh, in Peacemaker, yeah, we seen the eagle tear an eyeball out today. It was hardcore.
So, Book of Boba Fett is good, but that might just be because Mandalorian is good. I don't really know yet.
It might be.
It's so interesting. It is a risky thing because it was fine. The show's fine. I was enjoying it. It was a little silly at times, but I was enjoying it. Although I still have a slight beef with I get that he took over like he came in and took out the guy that was running the place, and he's like, "This is mine now." But like, then he did no like ruthless boss stuff to make people think
Right.
that he should own this. It's like, no, you just like keep telling people, and you're acting nice about it, which is you would in a proper world, sure, would be the way that you could gain power, but that's not how most realities work. So, like, you're gonna become a crime boss by being nice to everybody. It's weird.
I don't know
This
if I
is
was
the
a crime
way.
boss and somebody else came in around and they're like, I'm a crime boss. Here, have some mints, and I'll do business with you. Might be a little terrified. I'd be like, "What's in those mints? What's this guy talking about? I don't trust him. He's too nice."
That's a good point. But then this like derailing into Mandalorian, and it's not bad. It doesn't make me like dislike the Boba Fett stuff more, but it's like, yeah, Mandalorian's better. They just do better things when Mando is involved.
The interesting thing about this, though, is there's that kind of knee-jerk reaction of, I thought this was the Boba Fett show and not the Mandalorian. Like, people are like, oh, they needed the Mandalorian to come in and save the show. And it's like, okay, yes and no. Like, this was clearly the plan. It's not like the execs are like, oh, these episodes are tanking. Let's really quick film a ridiculous CGI Luke Skywalker. Like, no, this was always the plot, right?
Oh, dude. I bet this episode got more planning on the visual effects side than a lot of other episodes.
Right.
Yeah.
Just in like, they're like, okay, we got to this one specific thing. We got to nail it.
How
I
many
bet that took a
episodes
lot
are
of
left? It's got to be like almost no episodes left, right? Like 1 or 2, because this is how they do.
Oh, Paul makes an interesting point here. There were 2 Boba episodes in Mando. Yeah,
right.
And I think this last like the episode before was like, whoa, suddenly it's the Mandalorian, but this episode felt like, okay, tying it all in, because honestly, the Book of Boba Fett isn't the Book of Boba Fett. It's all just the same show continuing. It's the next season of Mandalorian. It's just Mandalorian's not the central figure anymore, but it's still like the same show.
Maybe they're doing it to kill off the Mandalorian, because I would imagine it's a lot easier and cheaper to shoot a show on one planet that it looks like a desert than to have different planets that you have to travel to and different aliens. I mean, there's still going to be different aliens, but for the most part, you can use the same aliens over, rather than like a Mandalorian is not every episode, but a lot of episodes, he's hopping to different planets, meeting different people. They have to come up with different effects for all of it, so.
You know who's going to die in the next episode?
No, you got a prediction?
Yes. The Naboo cruiser dies.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, because you can't carry carbonite in that cruiser. It's too cool and too fast. It's going to die.
I know it's too cool as part of it. Too cool and too fast.
It's too
Not
cool
because
and
there's
too
no
fast.
room.
Nothing that the Mandalorian touches can last more than I don't know, a couple of episodes.
That's true.
This is really nice, and we spend an entire episode working on it, so it can only last an episode or 2. It's like a Beskar spear. Nah, we better melt it down.
That's a whole lot of spear to go into.
One little
chainmail, by the way.
the cutest little chainmail ever.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, it's like you gave that lady a whole spear that looked heavy, and she gives you back this little thing wrapped up. It's like, what? Wait,
solid
what?
Beskar, yeah.
Huh? What?
But I think you're supposed to give them a percentage at least of it, right?
A healthy percentage, apparently.
Yeah.
Paul says he doesn't think Baby Yoda is planned for the next season of Mando.
So we're thinking that they chose a saber then. Yoda
Yeah,
saber.
I feel like it was probably, a little calculated, because they know how cute Baby Yoda looks. But I feel like Baby Yoda kind of became a problem when they're like, where do we take the show? Like, the the kind of organic storyline is Baby Yoda has to go away. Where do we take Mandalorian after without Baby Yoda? People are going to lose interest. So that's definitely a risk. And doing it this way, where there's like the spin-off show. I know there's other spin-off shows coming. I don't know how if they're going to be that how entwined they'll be, but
Mhm. Well, if I was Baby Yoda, I would be like, lightsabers are cool and all, but you know what? Mando has a lightsaber too, and he didn't ask me to choose. So,
And what are you gonna do with all that Beskar?
uh,
Sell it so you can train some Kylo Rens? That's a bad idea, Luke.
yeah.
Luke irritated me. I get like what he was doing with the choice. I know we're back on this. We already talked about this, but when as soon as he laid it out, I knew what he was doing, and I was like, no, that's a gift from Mando. You just give it to him. You don't make this part of the lesson. That's Mando wants him to have that. But
Mm-hmm. But obviously,
You know, this is just payback. Yoda made him go into a cave.
that's right. He
He never
hallucinated
forgave Yoda for making him
crazy
go
stuff
into a
about
cave.
Darth Vader. Yeah.
Yep.
He had some weird twisted like revenge on his deep-seated issues with the way Yoda trained him.
Man, and they even like tied it to I feel like they tied it to the was it Order 66 or whatever it is with the killing of the younglings. Like so Grogu was there all along, or he was on a
Is that
different
what that
planet being trained, because he was like seeing visions of
Mm-hmm.
the Jedi fighting off the clone troopers.
Right.
This might have been a Kit Fisto planet or something.
I was a little mad at Luke for that too. He's like, "Let me help you see your memories." I'm like, "Yeah, trauma. Oh, trauma.
Exactly.
Thanks."
Yeah.
Be better if we just forget that.
Ooh,
Oh,
Maddie
D.
D.
Yeah.
Good point.
Real good point. And now me and Jesse will complete the rest of the episode in synchronized speaking.
But we won't actually read Matt's comment.
No, he says Grogu has to go with Mando, otherwise he'll be killed by Kylo Ren. And no one wants to see Ben kill a child.
You know, this is a classic Eagle Fang karate or Miyagi-Do karate moment where he's got to choose no be there or the best defense is more offense.
Yeah.
Do you choose, which is ironic because it's backwards. Do you choose the Beskar armor and go with a bounty hunter, or do you choose a lightsaber and stay with the Jedi?
Can I just comment? This popped in my head talking about no one wants to see Ben kill a child. The dude's like 50 something, so I don't know that we can necessarily consider him a child. I'm just saying. I mean, I know they live way longer than we do.
Grogu?
Yeah, he's older than like everyone in the cast, practically. So I he's had a long life already. I mean, for us, a long life. For him, maybe not, but How old do they have to be before they learn to talk?
This is a fair question.
It is really weird to see Luke giving him lessons like he would any other little Jedi kid. And Grogu's like, like still making baby sounds. It's so weird. And like, he's like trying to walk behind. And I did enjoy like Luke keeps like mind like swooping him forward, walk, swoop him forward. Like that was interesting.
That
That's
was
like
fun. I love that.
I don't care how old he is. That's still a baby. He's still like got the baby mentality.
Until you throw a laser ball at him.
He was doing good. Yeah.
Yeah, he did really well for a baby. Here's baby's first laser ball.
I wonder if he's got that like child vampire thing where he's like, why is everybody always treating me like a baby? I'm 50 years old.
Right. Okay.
I don't know why it popped in my head, but they're coming out with another Willow movie. a series.
Oh, Willow.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be a Disney Plus show, right, or movie?
Yep.
hmm No, I know why it popped in my head because the kids in that were adorable, and I'm like, but they're probably like almost the same size, so they'd still be adorable to me, and that would be inappropriate. So yeah,
Thank you. I'm glad you recognized that it would be inappropriate.
I know it is. But I feel it.
Like, oh, I just want to cuddle you. I'm 57.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Paul says Warwick is jacked.
Cool.
Warwick Davis, how old is he now, man?
Well, when he made Willow, he was like 17.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
He had to be younger than that when he was Wicket, right?
There's a promo they did where it's like him talking with a bunch of the cast from the show, and they're all like younger, young, hot, current stars or whatever. And it's not the best, but it's kind of funny. They do a lot of the like
Old Man Willow.
Yeah.
Like Old Man Logan, but it's Old Man Willow.
Oh man, I hope it's gritty.
Yeah, I hope they have a dinosaur Venom.
I was disappointed I didn't see a Val Kilmer. I mean,
I don't know if Val Kilmer does a whole lot.
No. Mad Mardigan.
yeah.
Old Man Mardigan.
That's yes.
That
Maybe,
even works with
man.
the rhythm of it.
You know what? Disney can do anything now.
Do it.
That was the thing. I think the young Luke, I was like, they can do anything now. Because, if they focus on it and channel enough, like they could replace everything in like the Marvel movies. There's a bunch of Marvel movies that they look great, maybe not 100% realistic. Sometimes they do look 100% realistic. And it's like, the only thing in that are their faces. The only real thing in this that keeps this from just being a CGI animated feature is the fact that they retain some of the video footage of their face. They don't even have to do that now. And it's pretty convincing. So if they could just do whatever.
But they still, even when they do that, like if you look at Love, Death and Robots, or maybe it's Death, Love and Robots, whatever. If you look at that like most recent season or whatever, they look like people. It looks real, but they still have to have the actor there to get that to get the facial movement and all that. They still have to have somebody act it out before they do it. So I mean, it might not be live action, but it's basically still the same thing.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying get rid of actors, but
yeah. But maybe pay them a little less, because I mean, I'm not putting down, that they're talented. Are they worth millions of dollars? I don't think so. That's me personally, though.
So there is a lot of interesting comments going on. I'm not trying to like derail from what you're saying, Melanie.
No, it's fine.
So I'm going to start with Paul says Willow is fine, but Dinklage says the Seven Dwarves is detrimental and sets little people roles back. That's interesting. Maddie D says Old Man Willow. Pull my finger and I'll show you some magic.
Is that a cord behind your ear?
Paul doesn't want to see a bloated Mardigan. Maddie D says they can bring in James Dean as a Jedi. Jedi Dean. CGI Jedi Dean. Yeah. Well, exactly.
Be a Jedi without a cause.
Did that movie ever happen with the CGI James Dean? Are they still filming that? Is that still going to be a thing?
I don't know. I mean, it got a lot of publicity, so I don't know.
It did.
We recently had to watch some clips from that too, because I have never actually seen a James Dean movie.
Oh, right.
So I was wondering if he was actually even a good actor, because he died pretty young, and I know he wasn't in much. But my conclusion was he was actually okay, and mostly he was okay because people were still in that phase where they had just come from the stage and didn't know how to like not overact,
Yeah.
And he acted like an actual person.
So you guys watched Rebel?
Which made him way better.
That's the one you watched?
We didn't watch the whole thing. We just watched, chunks of it.
Yeah, we were just she mentioned it and was like, why was he so great? And I was like, I think it's just because he's cool. But yeah, we searched up. Wait, what was it from? Maybe Rebel Without a Cause.
I think that was what it was.
Yeah, we watched a couple scenes from it. We didn't watch the whole thing because it was just like, I don't know.
And then,
so you guys got to see a super duper young Dennis Hopper.
Oh, was he in that?
Yeah, Dennis Hopper is one of the like thugs.
Oh,
It might not. It might not have been that though. I don't recall. No, yeah, it maybe.
I don't know. It devolved into talking about Steve McQueen, and then we left that and went off somewhere else.
Yeah, our conversation that is, because Steve McQueen's like same thing, a super cool guy and cars and stuff. But yeah, no, Melanie said it all. I don't need to restate what she said. So, hey everybody, Melanie,
Yeah.
you know what else is amazing in addition to CGI James Dean's?
Brains?
Yes, I wish somebody had some interesting recent facts about that.
I do. Which would you prefer to hear about? Our brains or cat brains?
I don't. Jesse, what you want to hear about? Human brains or cat brains?
Cat brains?
Okay. That one's the easier one anyway.
Okay.
Cat brains are shrinking. They did a bunch of
Oh no.
studies on old skulls, like 10,000 years old, and the skulls of cats have gotten significantly smaller over the years, and it's because we domesticated them, and we're not sure exactly how it connects, but breeding them basically to be more tame, apparently has some connection to certain areas of the brain that shrunk because of that. So because they don't have to be as afraid or as like they don't have to have as much sensory stuff going on, I think, because they live inside for the most part. So their brains shrink, and it's sad because we want them to have big brains, but they're so cute. So
And that's why they chase laser pointers now?
yeah, so cats are probably dumber, but they're nicer. So yeah, and hopefully they'll grow wings, and the world will be terrifying.
No cat wings. That's a thing.
That's right. Man, callback. Woo!
Yeah. And if you want to look it up in your spare time, the other thing, I posted it on my Facebook if you're my friend. Our brains keep us 15 seconds in the past. So you know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, that one's weird.
Yeah.
Matt wants to know though, what about cat people brains?
Well, they are cat people, so if they are domesticated, which I mean, if they're around us, I suppose they would have to be, then their brains also shrink. And if they're living in the wild, then they're probably still fine, but we don't know because we can't find them.
How many seconds in the past are they?
I'm gonna guess this is probably similar to us. I think it might be, unless you're like a bug, maybe. I would think it would have to be kind of a universal thing. To maybe not exactly 15 seconds, but however many seconds it takes back to keep the picture smooth, Yeah. Woo!
Yeah, Paul just said, "Holy crap! I just realized Mel is behind Randy. There were some weird hand movements over his shoulder, and I thought the room was haunted." Yeah, I don't have the. We were in a rush today because we didn't get home till like almost 8:30, 8:20 or so. So I didn't put up the screen or none of that. But yeah, Melanie's hiding back there.
That's it in the corner though. It's.
Yeah, you can see that's the stand I've been using, where it makes it smell like old school or something.
Well, I think that's basically
Storage. Oh yeah, it is like Anyway, Jesse.
Yes.
You got anything exciting coming up or anything you want to talk about before we go?
I feel like I should. I don't think I do though.
I don't think I do either.
I don't think I do. or I'm totally forgetting it. So hopefully it wasn't.
So your
important.
birthday is coming up, which reminds me, in about a month, the Grawlix birthday versary is coming up as well.
Yes.
As well as our anniversary.
Yes.
So it's all the same time. How long have we been doing this? It'll be. Are we in our 8 or 7 right now? We're coming up on like 8, I think.
Man.
8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
2014.
Crazy to think.
We've been doing this show. Listen, you guys might not know. We've been doing Grawlix for 8 years. It's weird.
We've been doing this show long enough that Jesse could have been his teacher for a couple of years already.
Yeah. It's true. No excuse for that behavior. Come on. You know the rules.
Oh, I hit the wrong thing. For some reason in the comments, hashtag has become hash brown. Hash brown, where's the 100?
That's a Cobra Kai reference.
Send
it to the internet.
Okay. Hash brown 100 cut.
Hash browns.
Oh, man. I don't know what y'all talking about.
It's
So-
really weird.
It's so strange.
Yes, making food references and
Makes me
100.
think of eyebrows.
Yeah.
What?
Eyebrows.
Eyebrows?
Yeah, I got to draw on your eyebrows. You know.
Okay.
I think this is a sign. This is a sign we're living 15 seconds in the past.
Yes, it is. All right. I thought we were going to do a shorter show today. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks for watching. All of you. Nice viewer count tonight. I
Yep.
shouldn't say that on the show, but I'm saying it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Have a great Friday, I guess. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Mhm.
And if you're listening on the podcast feed, thanks. Have a nice week. You can find more of this at grawlixpodcast.com. It's GRAWLIX podcast.com. We're also on the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network, which recently got a facelift. It's not just gray anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to
Color
bring
it
people
up.
in.
Color it up.
And Patreon, YouTube, all that stuff. You know, you've heard it. You've heard that crap. All right.
You know about the speed pump, the speed pimp, the legend of the speed pimp, the speed
gonna-
pimp from the desert or whatever.
That's gonna be a spin-off show of ours. We're
Yeah.
just gonna it's gonna be just be promotion.
It'll be the
Except for-
book of speed pimp.
Yeah,
but it'll
except for
be
2
a
episodes.
video.
It'll turn
It'll
into
be a-
Grawlix podcast for 2 episodes, then go back.
I don't think I've seen a single book in this show.
I haven't either. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend. Bye.